The first time I walked onto the set of Power Rangers, so many different things. I remember pulling up and they had our parking spots spray painted with our color. So they had all the colors next to each other. So you can imagine, I had just moved from Virginia. It was my first kind of real on-camera job. I'd done a couple things, but I grew up doing theater. So I pull up to a big studio and there's my parking spot right outside the door. So I was already, I was levitating off the ground. I was so excited.
They had set this whole thing up to look like the clock tower, and they had this huge studio that had all these different rooms that we were going to eventually be in.
It was kind of a big foyer when you walked in, and there were monster heads everywhere and big giant posters, and it just felt so exciting.
I was blown away by, they were very, very specific in what they wanted. The sets were really, really well done. Not that I expected less, but I was blown away by how well they had done the whole setup of everything.
And we were there for a table read, and just meeting everybody and going, "You did get it," or it was one of the most exciting and beautiful moments, and such a beautiful way to start my career in film and television.
Time Force! Time Force! Power Rangers! Time for Power Rangers! Time Force! Time for Power Rangers! Time Force! Time Force! Time Force! Power Rangers! Go!
To this day, everyone that worked on Power Rangers said our cast was the closest cast. Everyone just got along so well. There was zero drama.
They're all great humans. That's the thing. It's not like there was one of us that was kind of like, meh, meh. All of them I was madly in love with.
Let's do it! Time for Time Force!
Now that Rancic and his gang of mutants are put away for good, we have a little more time to spend together.
That'd be a nice change. To actually have a date with my boyfriend.
Working with Jason Font was, I don't know if there's a word joyful enough to describe the experience. It was ridiculous fun. And brother and sister, nothing has ever happened with us off camera. We get that all the time from fans. And Jason will goad people and say, but brother and sister.
Working with Erin Cahill was misleading at first. When I first met her, she was a bundle of positive energy. So much so that I thought, this girl's fake. This is not how she's going to be. Just walking in every day, hugging everybody, just sunshine and rainbows. And I thought, okay, this will die down. We all booked the part, so this is all fun now. But that's how Erin is. She is the most positive, happy person that I've ever met in my life to this day. So she was a lot of fun to work with and be around, and one of the best actors I've ever worked with.
We laughed so much. We taunted each other like brother and sister do. I don't recall us ever getting in a disagreement. It was wonderful working with him.
Since you saved the day, we decided we want to be like you. Take.
Oh, Kevin is a lovely human.
He was kind of like the younger brother.
Although he's really close to my age, at the time he just felt like a little bro to me.
Just happy to do whatever, no issues, just a lot of fun to be around.
It was really fun working with him. We used to just give him endless torture about his wig. It was so much fun.
I know someday we'll make it back, but for now, I'm glad to say that this is my home and you guys are my family.
Working with Deborah was a dream. That's exactly how I feel about Deborah.
Working with Deborah, similar to Kevin. She got on there and no issues. We had a great time with that.
She is probably the sweetest human I've ever met. I don't think there's a mean bone in her body. I worked with her for a year, and I don't think I ever saw her in a bad mood. I never saw her say an ill word. Even when she was tired, she was still like the most joyful creature on set. She's absolutely stunning inside and out. And I swear she hasn't aged a day, so I'm thinking maybe she drinks baby's blood.
Hey, Wes doesn't know that Lucas is a championship race car driver, does he?
No, but I bet he's about to find out.
What are those for? Race car driver.
What?
Michael was most like a little brother out of anyone because we had to wait for him to turn 18 to start filming. So he came to boot camp, and we were all like, oh, you do. I mean, he was like a year and a half younger than me, but it just felt like such a big age gap because we had to wait for him to turn 18.
Him and I would enjoy, we'd have a little bit more on the fun side. I think him and I were the ones that would create a lot of different pranks or things. But Michael and I have stayed very close to this day. I consider him like a brother, so a lot of fun to be around. Good-looking kid, so all the girls loved him.
Michael Copan is a very good-looking man. So is Jason. So is Kevin. They're kind of lucky for me. Everywhere I looked on set, it was lovely.
Listen to me. This is not about us. Please, don't do it. Quantum power!
Oh, Daniel Southworth. Gorgeous as well. Now that guy, Font and Southworth, I would say rivaled for the most troublemakers I've ever worked with in my entire life. And I say that with love. I adore them both.
Dan and I hit it off. I mean, we were both playing Red Rangers, and people always ask if that created a conflict. And no, we had a great time together and a lot of fun. And again, Dan's someone I keep in touch with today.
For Rangers, we trained, actually, when we got the job, we then had 2 weeks of kind of boot camp.
A lot of the Rangers that were on the show my season weren't martial artists or gymnasts like they had been in the past. They were actors. So they really wanted to make sure that, most importantly, you knew how to fall. Because a lot of times when we would fall, it would be on cement. We had stuntmen that did 90% of the work, but they still wanted certain scenes. So we spent a good 2 weeks of just really learning how to really gracefully fall and kind of teaching some of the girls how to kick on film, which is a different beast than you would do in real life.
It was really fun because on the first day they were, just kind of experimenting with us and seeing what we could do. And they were like, you're flexible. Oh, you kick really high. You're learning fast. And I was like, I'm a dancer. So it worked out beautifully because by the end of the season, I kind of talked my way into doing more and more stunts. And by the end of the season, I was on wires and doing long fight sequences. And that was one of the most fun experiences of my life, was those 2 weeks that then laid the groundwork for a year of kicking butt. The stuntmen for Rangers were phenomenal, like incredibly talented humans.
They're, from what I understand, after the fact, Alpha Stunts, some of the best stuntmen in the world. And it's huge to have a stunt team that is that professional and that good at what they do, because a fan base which has evolved and grown is not dumb. And if things aren't done in that capacity in terms of the way they kick, the way they fall, some of the things that they do, it would cheapen the overall quality of it. So they're great, and it's huge to have someone that good. But equally to work with the actors who aren't as familiar with how this goes, to really kind of handhold us through the process so nobody gets hurt.
I personally had 2 different stuntmen. This is going to ruin the illusion. So, spoiler alert, I had Kazu and Tomo, and they were both Japanese men. And Kazu was at least 6 inches shorter than me, which was great. Always when I'd morph, I'd be like, Kazu. And then Tomo was kind of my build and my height, so that worked out really well. But they were incredible. I mean, the things they could do, it would have taken years of training for me to do. And they had such a great attitude, and they made sets so much fun. And I have behind-the-scenes pictures of me picking them up and them picking me up. And they were the most phenomenal stunt crew to work with, both professionally and personally.
How did you guys survive in the year 3000 without any cookies?
Not just cookies. There isn't any junk food.
Oh, sounds like torture.
One of my favorite memories is the caterers, the on-set craft service. She was so wonderful. I don't know how I ended the season anywhere close to the weight I started, because every day it was like fresh baked cookies or, like I made a pie, and I just can't say no to that. So I remember every day being like, oh, I have to work out.
Attack teams, listen up. I want all units inside. Secure the interior. Go!
When the season premiered, it was Saturday mornings, we got together there are 5 of us, but the 4 of us got together, and then one of us couldn't make it, so we had a soccer ball that we were like, this is you. So we took all these pictures with the soccer ball being like, we miss you. We got together in our pajamas and made breakfast and watched our premiere, just us.
Between you and I, it was a little bit emotional because I thought, geez, I mean, this is a really big thing. And I was so excited and proud to be a part of it. And then here it was. And then, of course, they did so good on the first episode. And the set design was great. So I was taken aback a little bit. A little bit emotionally. It was pretty exciting.
To this day, I have not really experienced anything like that. And acting has been my job for 13 years now, knock on wood. Thank you, universe. But that was such a special moment. I mean, can you imagine being in your PJs with people you've been working with for months and watching your show and like, when it comes on, we're like, look, that's you! That's you! It was amazing.
Jen, we don't even know how to drive this thing.
Lucas can drive anything.
What are you doing? Shut down those engines immediately.
Go!
The episode that I enjoyed working on the most was Movie Madness. Right in about in the middle of the year, we did a 2-part extended Movie Madness, and they really went all out in this one.
I was set in a kung fu movie, and we shot at this beautiful, I think it was a Buddhist temple, way out in who knows where, and we had all these fighting stunt men that I fought, and that day was just glorious. Or it was like, I think maybe 2 days of just fighting and choreography, and it was a blast.
We shot at Universal Studios, which was neat because we're on the set. There was a scene where that big waterfall came down. Why I remember that is because I remember for years when I first moved out to Los Angeles, someone would come out and visit. We'd go do that Universal set. And I thought, geez, someday I'd like to be the actors that people are driving by. And it was kind of cool because we were finally in that position. We were there, the buses were coming by, they were able to say that. And of course, being at the Universal set for Power Rangers was a lot of fun. And that Movie Madness one was really cool. They really pulled all the stops on that one.
Thank you.
Yeah, nice.
What do we think?
Nice.
You like small, fun? Wes, we're ready for you, all right?
My fans, they're calling.
I have constant memories of that show, of our dressing rooms being side by side and how we all decorated our dressing rooms and just how loving everybody was on set. And Koichi, our main director, literally, I think if you cut me open, a piece of my heart will be tattooed with his name. He really, helped shape me as an actress in that year and gave me belief in myself to go forward. And I attribute so much of me being able to do this for 13 years to him and his direction and his belief in me and his being like, you can do it. He was just wonderful. And man, just electric energy on set. And Elon, our DP, and such beautiful memories of our crew. And I run across them on different projects. I've run across members of our crew working on different shows. And it's always like family. It's like seeing family. So yeah, there are so many wonderful memories on and off camera.
And another moment that I'll always remember is the last day, because we had created this family-type atmosphere. We all were having a great time being there, and it was going to come to a halting end. And saying the goodbyes on the beach when they went back to the future, we were all just sad and crying. So that's probably the day I remember most, was that last day, because it was a pretty special day.
I think the future looks pretty bright.
Being part of the Power Rangers is such a gift. It's such a moment in time, because other projects come, they go. Some people have heard of them, some people haven't, but there's not a single human that I've met that does not know Power Rangers.
I think that it's become such a huge part of our pop culture and growing immensely that you're proud to be a part of something like that. It's almost like being a part of, a team that won the Super Bowl. It's something that you can lay your hat to. It's something that you can look back fondly on.
So being part of history like this is really humbling and exciting, and something that, I wouldn't trade for the world. Our main, listen to her. Do not use that. Frank, I'm watching you.
We'll see. We'll talk after the show.
Frank. Okay.